I'm gonna give you a prime example. You know, I talked earlier before we started this that I own a Ferrari. In 2019, I fought 2 fights. I fought my first. There was my second title defense, and then my second fight in that year was a unification match where I fought another guy who was a world champion, and it was to unify titles. That year, that was my biggest year with sponsors and everything, with sponsorships and everything. I probably made almost $4 million. I remember what I did with that money is, instead of going to the law and buying myself a nice car, the first thing I did is I put some money aside for taxes. And I remember putting 25 to 30% of it for taxes.
Because they're coming.
And the second thing I did was I put some money for my retirement account. You know, and I think the max is 25% of what you pay yourself. And because I have a corporation, I all went to my corporation, and then I pay myself like $256,000. Enough for that 25% to be $60,000. I think that's
and it has to be reasonable. Or the IRS, you can't pay yourself $35,000. They're gonna be like, no, that's not a reasonable salary. You have to have a reasonable salary compared to the income.
And you have to invest only up to 25% to your 401k. You can only give up to 25% of your income. So if you make $100,000, you can only put $25,000 for that year. Or contribute $25,000 to your 401k for that year. So obviously the max I think is $60,000. So whatever, you know, $60,000 times 4, whatever that number was, I think 240. That's what I pay myself. So I put that $60,000 to my 401k, and then afterwards, I wrote $1.2 million to my stock portfolio, and this was in 2019. And I got lucky because that's when everything went up. You know what I mean? And then the first year, I remember, and the interest rates were so low.
And it went up because pre-pandemic.
So then I told myself, you know what, I bought my house, I bought a farm, all down payments, you know, just the 20% down payment.
Smart to buy a farm.
And then I saw that the interest rates that were, for me to borrow money off my own investments, I could borrow up to $1 million of my investments. Against my investments. And at the time, which was like 60% or 55%. And the interest rates for me to pay myself back or to pay the bank for allowing me, the private bank for allowing me to borrow money off that without touching my principal was at 1.3% interest. So what I did is I gave myself a $325,000 loan. I went and I bought myself that Ferrari.
Smart, man. So you took the loan out against your investments. We're going to use that money. We're only paying 1.3% on interest. So it's not really a big. We're going to pay back pretty much what we gave. Because
I remember the monthly of what that portfolio was making. It was making 12 to 14% a month.
And the importance of that is that interest rate is so much lower than going to the dealership. And paying what, 6%, maybe 5%?
So the dealership.
I'd rather pay the 1 against my own loan than the 6 at the
dealership just saw that, Jose. I wired the money. So to the eyes of the dealership, I bought that car in cash. So I got the pink slip right away. I had the pink slip within 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks. And after 2 years, I paid off the loan with the interest rates without touching my principal. You know what I mean? And then the stock market kind of went down a little bit, right? And then I fought my next year in 2020. I made some good money, put some money away. I bought another house in Clovis, next to Fresno. And I remember giving my dad a gift to open up his agricultural business.
Smart.
And I wanted to
help. That sets the family up.
That sets the family up without me touching the money. You know,
how do you manage that, bro? Because I think a lot of people, when you get money, people don't understand if you've never had money, you don't understand, like, this is not, I have to pay taxes, I have to pay my staff, I have to pay for anything that I have going on, and then it's other expenses going out. How do you manage the expectations of family members? Because I always have the saying that I'm gonna set this up for you guys, and if you don't want to do this, don't ask me for nothing. Well, how do you manage it?
So first and foremost, I understood the business that my dad was gonna get into. I understand the business, the agricultural business, the labor contracting business before I made that decision to give him that money to use. Because if my dad's gonna go open up a Pizza Hut, you know, and know it's a 50-50 risk, I might not give him that, give him that gift for him to open up that business.